good? What's good, y'all? What's good? It's your boy gravitating away right back at it again. Now, it's with unfortunate circumstances that I even bring up this news, but I'm going to bring it into a point that I was trying to make on the troubles and issues of drunk driving, y'all. This story came to me earlier today, and it's on former NFL player Henry Ruggs. And Henry Ruggs last year, for those of you who don't know, was involved in a 2021 car accident, DUI, vehicular manslaughter at that, where a young lady, age 23, and her dog was in a vehicle. He hit that vehicle, and the circumstances and the details of this, death is quite gruesome. The young lady was trapped in the car as the car was set ablaze. Pedestrians tried to help, but there's really nothing they could do about it. The car was engulfed with flames, and eventually it exploded. So the young lady, perished, and a not so, nice way, man. I mean, I don't really know how else I could say it, but that's one of the worst ways to experience a untimely demise. Now, Henry Ruggs recently has pled guilty to secure a plea deal where he will only serve 3 to 10 years. Now, criticism, as you could imagine, it was quite high. People were against this. People were saying, what about the family? Was the lady's young lady at that life worth 3 to 10 years? And the brother's not going to get the 10 years. I mean, with the backing that he does have and the influence, I say with good behavior, he'll get out in about 3 years or less. But before I continue, let's go ahead and play the clip that explains everything that carried on. I mean, it's really horrible, honestly.
In the making, this video showing former Raider Henry Ruggs accused of driving under the influence and driving more than 150 miles an hour, killing a woman and her dog in a fiery car crash. Ruggs and his attorneys telling a judge they've agreed to a deal, and that could put him in prison for up to 10 years.
New at 6, 8 News Now investigator David Charnes reports from court with the evidence that you have not seen.
Henry Ruggs and his attorneys here in court telling a judge they've accepted a deal that could put the former Raider in prison from 3 years to as many as 10.
Now, in all honesty, did he have no other choice? It's a hard thing to be a part of, choosing yourself to be in prison for a certain amount of time. But if that man took this to trial, make no mistake about it, he would have been made an example. But because he knew the obvious is he chose to drink, went out there, and was, the prime party responsible for the young lady losing her life. I mean, he had to have been informed by his lawyers, like, son, take that deal.
24-year-old Henry Ruggs is accused of driving impaired and killing 23-year-old Tina Tintor and her dog in this November 2021 crash. Prosecutors say Ruggs was driving 156 miles an hour in the 45 zone with a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit. This video 8 News Now obtained after the crash shows that car flash by in an instant. Documents the 8 News Now investigators reveal officers found Ruggs wasn't wearing a seatbelt, a witness finding him, quote, hanging out of the car.
There's a young man who has never been in trouble before.
Ruggs first faced several felonies, appearing here in a wheelchair during his first court appearance.
If you saw the vehicle that he was driving, the fact that he was only in a wheelchair for a limited amount of time shows you how powerful certain things we can't understand, because how is this man alive? 150 miles an hour, and all he was in a wheelchair for a short amount of time. That's crazy.
The plea deal announced Tuesday, reducing that to 1 account of felony DUI causing death and 1 misdemeanor charge of vehicular manslaughter. The 8 News Now investigators obtaining these documents, where an officer talking to Ruggs shortly after the crash says Ruggs told him he was, quote, on his way home from home. The 8 News Now
I'm not trying to laugh, but tell me you're drunk without telling me you're drunk. I'm on the way home from home. Man, that boy was blitz, I'm telling you.
Investigators also obtaining this $450 receipt from Topgolf, where Ruggs' girlfriend said she and Ruggs spent part of their night. The receipt, included in court evidence, shows the 4 guests shared 20 drinks. In other court documents, prosecutors write Ruggs' girlfriend ordered 2 for herself, but did not know how many, if any, drinks Ruggs had consumed.
Now, come on with that, if any drink. Come on, slow down with that. Like, cut that out. For real, for real.
You notify house arrest that you had a new telephone number.
Over the past 18 months, Ruggs, who is free on bail, appeared in court several times as his lawyers questioned blood evidence and asked for new judges. One judge ordering him to wear an alcohol monitoring bracelet and not to drive. Conditions allowing Ruggs to practice at a facility but not leave the state.
All right, that's about enough of that. I'm trying to understand people, with everything ahead of you. This is why I ask, friends of mine, I put hypothetical situations just to see what they would do, because I question what type of friends the young man had. I really do. I question what type of friends he had, because had you had friends that understands what you could easily throw away by making decisions like that, it wouldn't be so easy to let it go down like that. I'm sorry, because I've seen it happen, y'all, twice in my life, where one was a church drummer and he was a young man going to college, going to school, and he lost his life from a drunk truck driver. Literally pushed the car through the barrier on the side of a highway, and the boy went plummeting down to his death. On another occasion, when I was getting a little older, it was a group of friends of ours, and everybody was having a good time on New Year's. And why does this happen a lot on New Year's? I'm not sure. But the group of friends did not stop 2 individuals from leaving the home, knowing they were drunk as hell, having a good time at the party. And you could argue and dispute that maybe the others were drunk, but they seemed pretty coherent describing what happened. But they let them 2 dudes leave. Long story short, they didn't even get far. They crashed into a wall. Both perished on the scene. One had a kid. Another had twins on the way. And what kind of friends, do each other like that? I'm not letting you drive if I rock with you. We're going to fight, but I'm not going to let you drive, man. And that's the problem that I have. This is a young man that had his whole life ahead of him. I'm not going to judge him and treat him like a monster. He's never had a criminal background. For all that we know, he's just been a good football player, a good kid, kept his nose out of trouble and made a mistake. But understand being accountable. It means you got to deal with the consequences. You're at fault. You're the party that put someone's life in jeopardy. Actually, not here anymore. You took a woman's life, son. And I'm pretty sure, judging by the few interviews I've seen him had over the years, he seems like a good brother, like more than likely, if I was to bet, this brother been thinking about this every day. Every day. I hope he gets his mind right. I hope the family finds peace. But we really can prevent a lot of this mess, man. I'm looking at some of the comments on Twitter, and dare I say, most folks are not going to give this man a break. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. My bad, y'all. Leave it to Twitter to bring everything back to perspective, man, if you know what I mean, because you got one guy, Josh Keyser, says 3 to 10 years. His victim suffered blunt force trauma by a 156-mile vehicle in a 45. I didn't even realize that. It was a 45-mile-per-hour zone doing 156. And he says, and she suffered a horrific burn to death. And he'll realistically do 4 to 5 years in prison once paroled. I don't even think he'll do 4 to 5, as I said before. I think with good behavior, the most he'll do is 3 years. Someone said, as a Raiders fan, this isn't right. The man did bad crime and he deserves the correct sentencing, not this short sentence. It's not right and it's not justice. Hey, I'm not going to argue, man. There's been enough brothers that didn't get, justice going their way. So I'm not saying none of that. Somebody wrote Ruggs and Deshaun. Like, I mean, you always got people like trolling, but this is a serious matter, man. I speak for everyone when I say lock him up for life. I mean, really? Do we really got to do that, y'all? It's already bad enough, but I just was showing y'all some of the, sentiments going around. It's not good. You got people that really feels like this brother should have got 25 to life or whatever. But again, the judge took into consideration that this young man, Henry Ruggs, never really had a spot on his criminal record. He really was, for all purposes considered, a good man. He made a mistake, one that he has to own up, to the consequences. But here's the thing that I got to tell y'all. When you are a part of someone losing their life, if you're anything like me, who's very conscious about, situational things that's going on around you, it would probably haunt me for the rest of my life. There wouldn't be a day that goes by that I wouldn't think that, hey, my actions led to somebody losing their life, especially in the matter of which the young lady lost her life. I'm telling you, it was a real brutal scene. If you ever get the chance, look up Henry Ruggs' DUI death scene back in 2021. That stuff haunts me, man. And I've seen some things with first responders. It's not a pretty sight when you see these things, so if you got loved ones, friends, and y'all going out trying to get lit, all I'm saying is take into consideration other people's lives, even your friends' lives. Just take it into consideration. Know your limits when you're drinking out there. Anyways, it's your boy Gravitating Away, right back. But listen, I want y'all to like, share, comment, subscribe. I've been taking a few breaks here and there because I got other things going on outside of here. Plus, I wanted to get, my little studio together to give you better broadcasts, Just give me some time. We're going to put a lot of things together. I'm going to get my live up and running this week. Look forward to that. I'm going to have the topics up on a post. Listen, I need y'all to keep coming back and rock with your boy, man. There's a lot of pretenders out there, but there's some of us that do the groundwork. Holla at me, y'all.
If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the Renault Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice. They told me that less is simple.